Hey, this is gonna be a little bit more of a different video than what I usually make. It's gonna be like a face-to-face ranking video, ranking all of Bonnie's designs from FNaF. Read the title. Why am I doing Bonnie specifically and not all the animatronics? Well, it's because the most consistent thing in the series to me by now is the fact that Bonnie typically is the best designed animatronic in any of the games, and he's usually my favorite one. There are some games where, again, he has the best design. There's just no contest. But then there's also some times where he has one of the weaker ones, and he sucks. And I just want to talk about it. If you've ever watched a ranking video before, then you know that there are rules set in place, and of course I've got my own right here. Basically, my rules are they have to originate from a main series game, so no AR original designs, no FNAF World redesigns, and no merchandise original designs. And that one really stinks because I really did want to talk about Circus Bonnie because I love that design. They were cooking with that design. I just like clowns, and he's a clown. And meh. Second rule is they have to actually be tied to Bonnie in some way. So characters like Springtrap do count because the animatronic and suit parts of it are, based from Spring Bonnie. But characters like Bonnet, Vanny, mixes from Ruin, they don't count because they're their own character, not really tied to Bonnie in any way. Maybe Bonnet because it's just a redesign of Bonnet or Bonbon, whatever. I'm not counting it because it's still its own character. 3. The character has to have an actual model within one of the games, not just like a sprite or something. So Spring Bonnie in like FNAF 3, minigames, FNAF 4, whatever, that doesn't count because there's nothing really to go on about with it. It's just, oh, it's just a sprite. You can't really compare that to like an actual model. It just wouldn't be fair, really. And lastly, I'm going to be going character by character from each game. So I'm going to be starting with all the Bonnies of FNAF 1, to FNAF 2, so on and so forth. So that it's easier and more balanced for me to actually do all this and easier for you to digest. With that being said, let's start with... Five Nights at Freddy's 1 only has one Bonnie design in it, and it's, of course, the original Bonnie design. And it's probably more iconic and more memorable than Freddy himself within the game, because usually Bonnie is the first one to actually get up and start moving around within the game, within the first night. Freddy only usually gets up and going on the third night, and is usually hidden within the shadows. Plus, Bonnie has a bunch of really iconic, creepy, disturbing camera shots within the games, like in the back rooms where he's up and close to the camera with his black beady eyes, and in the hallway where he's clouded in shadows. His design is really ingenious in a way because it's like a mix of being cute and cuddly within the daylight, so it's not threatening for kids, and creepy and unnerving in the night light, so where it works for a horror game like FNAF. This version of Bonnie also kind of has a lot of like mixed opinions on it, mostly for the color of it because people can't decide whether he's purple or blue. Personally, I like to believe he's a deep royal purple because that's just what I see. That's just what I see in the original version of it, not usually in the FNAF Help Wanted, the version of him where he's really a blue. I think he works better when he looks purple, but that's just me personally. Either way, going to the top of the list right now, but it also means he's at the bottom of the list because he's the only one on it. And with that, let's move on to... FNAF 2 gave us a whole bunch of new animatronics for the game, like way more than FNAF 1 ever gave us. This also includes 2 new Bonnies we have to talk about. I lie. We have 3 to talk about, one of which is just a cool little secret Easter egg, but it counts, so we're talking about them. And with that, we're going to be talking about my least favorite, going on to my absolute favorite, talking about one that's just in the middle. Toy Bonnie. Immediately, we have our contender for worst character within the game. I never really liked him, and originally it was because I thought he himself was the one who damaged Bonnie, making him Withered Bonnie, but now it's just because I don't like him. I just don't like his design, from his big buck teeth to big bulgy eyes and his dumb baby blue coloring. He just looked more like the Easter Bunny than Bonnie in this game to me. The only actually intriguing part of his character to me is the fact that his pupils shrink the closer he gets to your character, and his jump scare is, I guess, something. He lunges out at the player. It's better than Foxy's jump scare in FNAF 1, so that's something. But then again, that's not really hard to top, is it? So yeah, it's pretty easy to say he's going at the bottom of the list, and he's going to be staying there for a while. But the worst part about it is he's not staying there for long. He's not going to be in the top 3. Going from one of my least favorite animatronics to one of my absolute favorites. I adore Withered Bonnie a ton. He just looks incredible. He's cute, intimidating, cool, and scary, from his missing face only showing 2 beady red eyes, and missing arm leaving only exposed wires. I just want to hold him and make him happy. Scott was cooking up a gourmet meal in the kitchen when he created this man. Going to the top of the list easily, and I will be shocked and appalled if he ever gets topped. I'm talking really shocked. He's one of the best designed animatronics in the entire franchise, and I love him a shit ton. He is my favorite, and he always will be. Always was, always will be. Simple as that. Next. Shadow Bonnie, also known as RWQFSFASXC, is just Toy Bonnie again, but with different colors. Given how I said I don't like Toy Bonnie at all, you'd expect me to not like this one either, but surprisingly enough, I really do like him a whole lot. Just because it's the same model as the character I don't like, just with different colors, doesn't mean I'm not going to like him. That's something I'm going to get used to. I don't know exactly what it is about him that makes me like him. It just works for me. He's also known for being a very, very rare character to find within the game. I don't know exactly how rare he is. All I know is, if you find him within the game, consider yourself lucky. Not really much else to say about him. It's just Toy Bonnie, but a shadow. Going below Withered Bonnie, but above regular Bonnie. FNaF 3 was the first FNaF game to not have Bonnie in it, and instead all we have is Springtrap. I remember hearing years ago someone saying it was because there couldn't be more of one animal species within the game, which is really stupid because we already had 2 bear characters in FNaF 1 and multiple of the same species within FNaF 2. Even in FNaF 3, we have 2 fox characters in Mangle and Foxy. So why they said we couldn't have Bonnie and Springtrap at the same time is just really dumb to me. With that being said, it does not dissuade me from liking Springtrap anymore because, truth be told, I really, really love Springtrap. The design just works for me. It's a zombie robot bunny. The yellows and golds of the original Spring Bonnie from the 80s have since become a moldy dark green color. Plus, something else I really like about the design is that it always looks like he has a smile because of the faceplates being withered, so all you can see are teeth parts of the animatronic. It just makes him look all the more crazy and intimidating, and I love it. And of course, there's the obvious and most memorable part of the character, being that the body of William Afton is inside. If you don't know who William Afton is, he's a child murderer, so yeah, there's that. I tend to just ignore that part and try to imagine Springtrap without William Afton in the suit, and I just like him a whole lot more. I vastly prefer the whole Spring Bonnie animatronic withered zombie bunny part of it than the actual William Afton part of it. If it was just Spring Bonnie as he is without William Afton, he'd be at the top of the list. But as is, he's just below Withered Bonnie. I'm not going to go too in-depth with my thoughts on FNaF 4 because I also plan to make a whole different ranking video for all the different FNaF games. Just know that, in my opinion, FNaF 4 has the best overall character designs for the animatronics. Most of them, a grand majority, like 99% of them, slap hard, with maybe the one exception being a Nightmarian, which I don't really like. And Bonnie is no exception to the whole good part of the character aspect. I adore his design in this game. He's so monstrously huge and scary and wide and manly and masculine and hot. Yeah, I said it, what of it? His big claws and sharp teeth, the buff physique. He's just completely irresistible and kind of monster I would check my closet for to make sure he was in there. With that being said, he's still going below Withered. Because I do really, really love Nightmare Bonnie. I just prefer Withered Bonnie a tad bit more, and I cannot stress that enough. A tiny, tiny bit more. As far as I'm concerned, they're completely equal in my eye. But if I had to pick one over the other, it'd have to be Withered Bonnie. It is so, so close. And plus, Jacko Bonnie as well is also lumped in there with Nightmare Bonnie because, once again, it is just Nightmare Bonnie again, but a different color upon in the eyes. And with that, we have covered all the pre-FNaF World games. There were a lot of good designs in this so far, but there were a small few stinkers like Toy Bonnie. And it's kind of sad to say that at this point, all the designs start to go downhill. I don't really like most of, a big majority of the post-FNaF World animatronic designs from Sister Location to FNaF 6. They all just kind of don't work for me, and unfortunately Bonnie is also lumped within that catalog, even though sadly he's still probably the best designed animatronics of those slots. So far, the list goes Toy Bonnie, Regular Bonnie, RXQ, Springtrap, Jacko Bonnie, Nightmare Bonnie, and Withered Bonnie. So let's just get this over with and just talk about Sister Location. Once again, just like FNaF 3, we lack a real, actual Bonnie animatronic, and all we have is a dumb hand puppet named Bon Bon. His design is like a mix of Adventure Bonnie from FNaF World and Toy Bonnie, just with a few creative liberties attached to it, like new hands and stuff, and no lower half. I don't know what it is exactly about him, but I just really, really don't like him. It's just too out there for design for me, like a robotic hand puppet that moves around on its own. And probably the saddest part about it is that it's probably one of the best looking animatronics in Sister Location, which really goes to show how bad they all are. It's gonna be shocking to say this, but he's going below Toy Bonnie. I really just don't care for him. Now we're on FNaF 6. I'm gonna go on record here and say that FNaF 6 probably has the ugliest, most horrendous, and hideous looking animatronics in all the game. And probably the worst of them all are the night animatronics. And that, of course, involves Scraptrap. Remember everything I said about Springtrap being one of the coolest, most intimidating characters in FNaF? Well, forget all of that for this character, because Scott clearly did when designing Scraptrap. All of the night animatronics in this game suffer heavily from looking more goofy than scary. Like, why would you give Scraptrap big buck teeth, a big ass noggin, a giant forehead looking like Jimmy Neutron, give him a dumb spear for a left arm, and what is with all those lumps on the suit? All of that on its own, just all the Spring Bonnie parts of the design, will be bad enough, but just the absolute worst of it is the William Afton part of it. It is more visible on this design than it ever was on Springtrap. Like, I don't know why you would make William Afton look like this in the game. Why? He looks so dumb. It just completely takes all the tension out of the game for me, because I just know that face is going to be coming after me, and I just can't take it seriously. So, yeah, it's not shocking at all to say that this one is going at the absolute bottom, and I will be so surprised and sad if anything tops it. I really doubt anything will, because this design is just so abysmal. And of course, there is one more Bonnie we have left to talk about in this game, and it, of course, is Rockstar Bonnie. He is nowhere near as bad as Scraptrap ever is, and still not a very good design. It's also probably the best design of the game. I don't even know where to start. Why are his elbows and knees a different color from the rest of his body? Why is his face so smushed in? He looks like a goddamn Wile E. Coyote cartoon when his face gets smashed in by an anvil. And for God's sake, why would they give him the same feet as the toy animatronics? They already look bad on them, just not gonna look better on him! I am just so done talking about these stupid games. Let's just move on to the... Help Wanted is a game that's mostly just a remasters and recollections of the first 3 FNaF games plus a few others. And that would mean as well that there's not really too many new animatronics, it's all just remodels of the original cast. There is, however, one new addition to this game, and luckily it's derived from Bonnie in some way, so it counts for this game, so we're going to talk about him. This character is known as Glitchtrap or Malhair or whatever the hell his name is. Mimic, I guess. Guess that's what people are calling him now, so I guess that's what I'm going to call him this time. And he is just such a huge refresher from the last three troglodytes you've seen in the previous entries. His suit is more of a mascot suit than an animatronic suit, and that just adds the whole charm of it, I feel. The actual face of the suit reminds me a whole lot of the Cheshire Cat from the original 1930s Disney Alice in Wonderland cartoon, and that is absolutely a good thing. The small things of his design, from the vest to his humanoid-looking hands, it adds a whole bunch of charm to the design, and the way he moves is so lively and expressive. It's very creepy and unnerving, and you just never know what he's going to do next or what his true motives are until the last moments of the game. Another thing I really do like about the design are his really humanoid-looking hands. To some, they might look creepy, but to me, they just look cool. Also, this is just something I need to bring up. Why does he have humongous thighs? Why did they give him birthing hips? His skin is silky, his thighs are milky. Obtuse rubber goose, green moose, guava juice, giant steak, birthday cake, large rice, chocolate shake! Yeah, he's going below Springtrap. Let's move on to the next game. Security Breach is famous for not having an actual body design, and unlike in FNaF 3, is actually a plot point and is addressed multiple times throughout the game. We of course do, spoilers. We do get to see Glamrock Bonnie in the actual DLC part of the game, but we're going to be talking about that later because right now we have to talk about Burntrap, Mimic, I don't know anymore, meh. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like this design either. It's just more corpse and animatronic than Spring Bonnie. And also, apparently, it's not even William Afton. It's some 15-year-old girl or something. I don't know. It's just a really weird-looking design. It's not even canon, apparently, either, because of the Ruin DLC. The spoilers. It's not the worst design we've seen in the game, but it's also not really the best. He's going below Toy Bonnie. And also, I want to emphasize again, we're not going to be talking about Vanny because she is her own character separate from Bonnie. So let's just go on and talk about Glamrock Bonnie. I was so looking forward to seeing what he looked like in this game, what his actual design was. And I was not thrilled. I was actually a little bit disappointed. The fan design they gave him looked so much better to me. To me, this is canon Glamrock Bonnie, and this is not. That's just what I'm going to headcanon, that's just what I'm going to do. It is cool, however, in the game that they do confirm, even if it is subtly, that Freddy and Bonnie actually were a couple. Doesn't take away from the fact that I think Glamrock Bonnie's design in this game sucks. It's not the worst, not the best, whatever. I just don't know why they made him baby blue again, but instead of having like a pitch black mouth and stomach like Toy Bonnie, they gave him like a lavender purple instead. I don't like the headband he's wearing, I don't like his messy hair, and I really, really do not like that skin tight red outfit he's wearing. This design is just so weird. Not to mention as well, I almost forgot, why does he look like he has a flipped up shirt collar on him? None of the other Glamrocks have that. He does for some reason, I don't get it. Like, if this is what he looks like, then I am not at all sad he was replaced with Monty. Monty rules, Bonnie drools. Below Toy Bonnie, but above Burntrap. And with that, we have officially talked about all of the mainline Bonnies I wanted to talk about. So let's move on to the final ranking. Overall, if this list says anything, it's that the pre-FNaF World games had the absolute best designs. Afterwards, they were really flopped and were struggling to find their way back up, but are slowly doing that now. Anyway, at the very bottom, we have Scrap Trap, Bonbon, Burntrap, Glamrock Bonnie, Toy Bonnie, Rockstar Bonnie, Original Bonnie, RXQ, Malhair, Springtrap, Jaco Bonnie, Nightmare Bonnie, Withered Bonnie. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Even if this video doesn't do very good, I do plan to do more because it's just fun. It's fun to rank different things, worst to best, talking about why I do or don't like them. Plus, it's just different. I like doing it. I'm gonna do more. Don't like it? I don't care. Bye-bye.